Welcome back to A's Tournament, the AI vs. AI baseball tournament that we are simming in Super Mega Baseball 3. This is the 6th of the 8 series that we're going through in the round of 16. In this matchup, we are in the right conference, number 4 seed Connecticut going up against number 5 seed Oklahoma. It is worth noting that Oklahoma, while being the lower seed here, technically did have a slightly better record. Oklahoma went 44 wins to 36 losses, while Connecticut went 42 wins to 38 losses. The reason Connecticut is the higher seed here is because seeds 1 through 4 went to the winners of each division. And then Oklahoma was kind of like the top wild card spot. So this is one of the few series, I think it was the same actually on the left conference, where the lower seed is technically potentially the slightly better team. But I mean, we're talking through an 80-game season, a 2-game difference here. So this is an extremely close matchup, and this will be very interesting to track. As you can see here, one of the big things that we'll have to note in this series is that this is going to be a low-scoring series, or at least everything from the regular season points to that. Both of these teams, neither of them were in the top half of points scored, and both of them were in the top 4 for least points allowed. So this will be a very interesting series that I'm expecting to be relatively low-scoring. For Connecticut today, we are going to have Killer Elliston pitching. He is an A-plus starting pitcher. Regular season, he won 6 wins, 5 losses, and was actually second in the regular season in this tournament with a 2.38 ERA. For Oklahoma, they will be starting with their pitcher Eves Perkins, who is also an A-plus pitcher. In the regular season, he went 9 wins to 6 losses with a 2.98 ERA. So this should be a very close pitching duel. But you can see here as well, both of these teams, a lot of their bars and a lot of their overall stats are in their rotation and their relief pitching. So very interesting that these two teams got paired up, as they are two of the best pitching teams that we have in the tournament. But let's go ahead, hop in and see how this goes. And we are getting ready to get started. Thankfully, it looks like we do have another situation where the uniforms are clearly differentiated. In case you missed the first couple of series, maybe at least the first 2 series we had, it might have been more than that, had extremely similar uniforms, and made it a little bit hard to fully track everything. But we start things off here with Elliston getting a very quick strikeout. Plows here is the designated hitter for Oklahoma. In the regular season, batted a .287. Vasquez there on first, over to Ellison. Perfect execution. Harper Maloney here, he is their right fielder and he is their S-rated player. But he line drives it to McFreddy, and that was a super quick top of the first. Didn't even have time to talk about the players there. Kyrie Cruz, who is the designated hitter for Connecticut, is in this leadoff position. I think this might be the first time we've seen a designated hitter in the leadoff position. He had a .288 average in the regular season. He pops that one up. Will it fall, though? It will not. Mac, the center fielder for Oklahoma, was able to field that one. Bryce Peppers, the second best batter that this team has, is a B-plus player. Gets a nice hit, but that is also caught by Mac in center field. Miriam Briefs. So this is the S-rated player for Connecticut. She plays center field for them. In the regular season, she led this team with 16 home runs. Slow grounder over to third. McBride Jr. over the ball. And that is a super quick first inning. since we're expecting to have a pitching duel throughout this series, it will be very interesting to see how quick these games are. Winner of this series will be going up against Virginia, and I think that both of these teams could potentially struggle just because they're both not high scoring, but it will just be very interesting. I mean, I think Connecticut, I'm pretty confident, is the best starting pitching team in the tournament. They have A+A and A-, so all three of their A-rated players as starting pitchers, which really makes things interesting. Ball gets fouled out. Another strikeout. Tanya Mack, center fielder here for Oklahoma, stepping up with 2 outs. Swings for a quick strike 2. And a strike 3. Wow. All right. So Perkins is going to be stepping back up here on the mound. He's only on pitch 12. This will be pitch 13 for him. Nancy Vasquez, first baseman for Connecticut. Let's take a quick look at her stats. That ball is hit though, and that should land. It does land. Mac gets it all on the bounce, but this does start Connecticut with a player on. Echo Perry is now going to step up. There's C+ second baseman. Echo Perry in the regular season batted a .289 average, 7 home runs. She was second on this team in hits. And that is a nicely hit ball. That's going to get over the center fielder's head. Mac is going to have to get this in. Connecticut sends them home, and Oklahoma's not even going to try for it. So Connecticut takes an early 1-0 lead here. Player on second, 0 outs. That ball should be catchable. And it is caught there by Kemp, their left fielder. McCullough right now has some increased bars, and that's because he has that positive RBI man trade. In the regular season, he had 25 RBIs, which is in the kind of bottom half of this team, and gets struck out there. Leland Herman now stepping up. 2 outs, but a player still on second base. That ball is going to be hit, and that should land. It does. Kemp, does he have the arm? He does not. So Connecticut now with a 2-0 lead. Warden Beasley is now stepping up. The 9th in their batting order, the third baseman, hard grounder. McBride fields it and gets it over. I don't know if that's by choice. That arm from McBride does not look too great over there at third base. See if I can quickly see what's happening there. Oh yeah, he only has a 10 arm. So that explains why we've seen a couple of weird throws from him over there at third. Perry over to Vasquez, and that is an out 1. So here's McBride. It looks like, so they have another player that is kind of their dedicated third baseman, but it looks like they're using McBride. McBride actually does have some decent batting bars. In the regular season, batted a .261 average, only 1 home run. He has that really nice contact bar. That is out 2. Go on the ball here. Elliston so far pitching a great game. Slow grounder. Elliston fields it. And that is a quick top of the third. Oklahoma so far through 3 innings has yet to get a hit. Connecticut up by 2. Cruz will step in here. is their leadoff designated hitter. And Perkins is going to want to make sure that Oklahoma does not fall further behind under his watch. Hard grounder. McCarty fields it. Over the ball. And that is out one. Bryce Peppers gets under that one, but it looks like they're going to be able to catch this, and Mac does catch it. It is worth noting here that both of these teams were second and third worst in fielding errors in the regular season. So it would not surprise me if through this series we saw some dropped balls, some bad throws, and things like that. Hard grounder makes it past the pitcher. Mac fields it out in center field. Nancy already had a single here today. Interesting. It looks like they are anticipating a potential takeoff. As that is Briefs over there. Briefs in the regular season. Did steal 18 times, but got caught 6 times. So not the best of stolen base conversion rates that we've seen so far. Alexander James, their catcher and their leadoff, steps up again. Grounder. Beasley fields it. Oh, it's popped high and goes foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And it's fouled back. Another grounder over to Beasley. That is another quick out. After the late swing there from Maloney. And another strikeout. This has been a dominant performance here from Killer Elliston. Only 4 innings through, though, so Oklahoma definitely has the potential to prove that statement wrong still. Quick out to start this inning here by Perkins. Leonard McFreddy, 6th in their batting order. He is their shortstop. So McFreddy in the regular season batted a .271 average, only had 2 home runs. It's worth noting that for both of these teams, they do not have a lot of home run hitters. Here in Connecticut, only 2 of their players actually had double-digit home runs. Cullen is now going to step up. Two strikes to start things out. Just outside. That ball gets a nice lift under it. Maloney fields it. Going into the top of the 5th year, Elliston is sitting at 47 pitches, which is a very good rate. This is the type of rate that you could potentially expect a full game out of them, but there's still more than half of this game to go. Elliston continues this dominant performance. Another strikeout. And another strikeout. So Elliston, I'm just looking back here. Believe it or not, he actually did not lead this team in strikeouts in the regular season. He was second on the team, but the pitcher that we're going to see next game led this team with 148 strikeouts. Ellison had 133 in his 20 regular season starts. Perkins is now back up. To put this into perspective, Perkins pitched 124 strikeouts, so only a 9 strikeout difference. Beasley does have that positive low pitch trait. He gets under that one, but Maloney, the best-rated player out there in right field, is able to get to it in time. Almost any other player out there would not have been able to get that out. But always interesting to see where these top-rated players end up, as they cause such a difference between these different teams. So here we go. Going into the top of the 6th, Elliston now going up to almost 60 pitches. So that stamina should start affecting him. However, he is currently on fire, which means he's even pitching above his regular bars at the moment. That ball might fall. We're going to see here, beautiful dive by second baseman Perry. That was a beautiful dive. I thought that one was going to fall. Let's start things out here with 2 strikes, 0 balls. Austin pitches that one slightly inside. Just outside. And just down low. He's trying to get McBride here to bite. McBride's going to hit another foul. And that one gets past him. That will be Oklahoma's first hit of the day, if I am not mistaken. And McBride is going to be swapped out with Hobbs, who has an extremely fast speed bar, but he's not able to take advantage of it. Connecticut throws him out. And another strikeout. Wow. What a difference of an inning. That is very interesting how that pans out. Slow grounder. Hobbs is able to field it. And Hobbs is now over there at third. Not the position that he typically plays. Hobbs by trade is a catcher, but he has the ability to play anywhere in the infield. And for Reeves, great hit, but Oldham even a better jumping catch. Vasquez steps up here with 2 outs. She has a single today. She has that whiffer trait. And she strikes out. I paused there for a second because I was thinking in my head, wait a second, isn't whiffer when somebody's on second? No, that is RBI dud. Whiffer is when there's 2 strikes. Okay. So Oklahoma back at the top of their batting order here. And that ball just drifted foul. That would have been a big leadoff hit for Oklahoma here. Elliston's in pitch 75 and he gets another strikeout. We'll have to compare this at the end of the game, but through, what are we at now? 19 outs, I think. This might be one of the most dominant pitching performances we've seen in this tournament so far. Grounder Elliston fields it over. That is out too. Herco Maloney, again, this is their best-rated player. In the regular season, Maloney only batted a .252 and 11 home runs, which, comparatively, that's still definitely like the top half of players. You would almost expect him to be playing slightly better considering he's an S-rated player. Grounds it over to Beasley, and that ends the top of the 7th. So Perkins is now coming in at 70 pitches. He's actually basically keeping pace here with Elliston in terms of pitch count. Two pitches inside so far. Oh, that ball had some weight under it, but drifted foul. And that is a strikeout, 1 to start this inning. Oklahoma has kept this a very low-scoring game, which means, they only need, a couple of good hits to really still be in this. We've actually seen very few matches in this tournament so far that have been complete blowouts. Off the top of my head, I think most of those came in our first series. I'm trying to remember I think that was Ohio versus Texas, and there were a couple games in there where it was like 13-0 or something. But outside of that, most of these games, when you go into the 9th inning, you're like, it's 4 or 5 runs, normally at most, which can easily be come back from, especially if a team does not have a dedicated closer. I was talking for a while there. Connecticut does have a player on first. 2 outs here, 2 strikes, and Herman strikes out. So going into the 8th, Oklahoma only has 1 hit so far today. They do have kind of the meat of their batting order here, and batting positions 4, 5, and 6. Keaton Oldham, their shortstop, has a very nice power mark. Fouls that one down the first baseline. Oldham in the regular season led this team in home runs with 15. And grounds out in Elliston. Elliston has had a number of slow grounders in front of him. He's fielded them all perfectly here today. Elliston now over 90 pitches. He still has that increased on fire mojo, which is helping him out, and it will continue. I think it's another strikeout. Was that 10 strikeouts so far today? That was his 10th strikeout. What a great performance from him so far. That one is going to land, though. Briefs, their S-rated player up there in center field, is not able to get under that one. So let's see here. Mack is going to be swapped out for a player with better speed. This means that we might see another player take off, which we saw earlier today. Did not work out earlier today. That ball looks like it's going to be drifting foul. Is it catchable, though? It is. So Connecticut ends the top of the 8th, continuing their dominant performance here today on pitching and defense. This might be the most subs we've seen in and out of a game in this entire tournament so far, especially for game 1. Both teams are still on their starting pitcher in potentially getting through the entire 8th inning. And there we go, another strikeout. Kyrie Cruz has not been able to get anything going here today, 0 for 3. It's a grounder there. Oldham gets over to it, and he has the arm to get the out. Okay, here they are going to now pull Perkins for Blossom Real is their A-rated relief pitcher. Not closer, just relief pitcher. That ball gets under, though. Now that one will be caught there by Kemp. Blossom Real, though, even though we're switching sides here. She's an A-rated relief pitcher. In the regular season, actually led this tournament in ERA, only allowing a 1.99. But now we're back over to the dominant performance of Elliston. And he starts out the top of the ninth with another strikeout. He'll now be pitching against Ball. That will result in a hit. Briefs throws it into second. But Oklahoma, here we go. This is where this gets very interesting because James is now stepping up. A home run ties this game now. But they don't need a home run. If they can just get another hit, move a player to second. But Elliston gets another strikeout. And here we go. Plows. Now, Plows is their designated hitter, one of the scarier players here. But Elliston, I mean, he's at 109 pitches. But with that increased mojo, he just had a complete game. What a pitching duel that game was. And that's what we're expecting out of this series. Like I said, these are two of the best. I think Connecticut is the best starting pitching squad that we have in this tournament. And then Oklahoma is not far behind. They are absolutely a top 3 or 4 in starting pitching staff as well. So Connecticut takes game 1 here. Let's take a look at the box score. And potential players of the game here. I think that this game has to go to Elliston. I mean, when you pitch a complete game, 12 strikeouts, allowed 0 runs, only allowed 3 hits on that. I think that is a clear MVP performance from Elliston. Perkins, while he technically got the loss here today, he actually had a very, very decent pitching line. So he actually might be in the top 3 as well. And then in terms of hits here, I'm trying to remember who actually got the RBIs. So the RBIs were split between 2 players. So maybe Perry will be on there as well. Let's see what the game gives it. MVP Elliston, followed by Perkins, followed by Perry. Hey, got it right this time. I think I'm learning how this game does this a little bit. So thank you very much for joining me for game 1 of Oklahoma v. Connecticut. I will be seeing y'all for game 2.